Straight ahead on 12 News.
Put your hands high. Shake hands with fly.
Meet a rap artist who's proud to represent Brooklyn Park in his music. Plus, a night to unite. We're in Plymouth, where residents take interest in getting to know their neighbors. But first, the future of a city festival is up in the air. Why Brooklyn Park City officials want to see changes made to Tater Daze. 12 News starts right now.
Hello and thanks for joining us. We begin with the pastor who represented Pierre Collins now shedding light on the Crystal Father's confession.
And Collins admitted Monday in court to killing his 10-year-old son Barway. Collins was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Pastor Harding Smith of Spiritual Church of God in Robbinsdale had been counseling Pierre Collins and his family since Barway went missing back in March. He also spoke for the family after the boy's body was found in the Mississippi River. In court Monday, Pierre Collins said he punched his 10-year-old son for misbehaving. Collins said he got scared when the boy fell unconscious. Pastor Smith says Collins confessed to the crime in May, but says Collins and his attorney wanted time to work out a plea agreement.
Since May 9th, ever since, we have been working on the best way to bring closure to this family and to also Louise.
The pastor also responded to questions about whether Pierre acted alone by saying Pierre told him he did not act alone. However, Pastor Smith says he got conflicting stories from Pierre and isn't sure what the truth is. Pastor Harding Smith drew a lot of heat for representing Pierre Collins, but says he will continue to provide spiritual guidance to Pierre. Now that the case is settled, he said he hopes the community can begin to heal.
Well, meanwhile, Brooklyn Park officials want to see Tater Daze, the city's annual summer festival, continue, but only if significant changes are made.
And that was the takeaway after a city council work session on Monday night. Cassie Bonstrom joins us now with more.
Yeah, Alex and Delane, city council members had some strong words for the Tater Daze committee chairs and said public safety was the biggest problem at this year's event. The council wants it to continue, but says it has to be more family friendly.
Tater Daze has been a Brooklyn Park summer staple for 51 years. But City Council member Rich Gates says this year's event was nothing to write home about.
I've heard nothing good about the parade on Saturday. Nothing.
He spoke at a work session Monday to his fellow City Council members, public safety officials, and the festival chairs.
I'm sorry, it pissed me off, because that's not what Brooklyn Park is.
They gathered to discuss this year's festival, what worked and what didn't.
We do need a refresh here, and there are some things that we need to do.
Organizers worked all year to plan a variety of fun events, live music, games, a carnival, and of course, the annual parade.
During the day, it was a great family-friendly event.
But it was what happened at night that had many worried. Groups of rowdy teens looking for trouble.
She came up to me after we were done with the root beer floats, and she's like, "We gotta leave. I'm scared." And that was her first impression of Brooklyn Park.
The group agreed that changes are necessary and brainstormed ideas, among them shortening the festival, moving the parade back to Thursday, and enforcing a curfew.
There was a lot of conversation about what makes a family-friendly event, what type of music we have, what's the dress code, if we should have things like dress codes.
No final decisions were made, but all agreed it is a tradition that's worth fighting for.
I think the consensus was Tater Daze is here to stay, but what can we do to make sure that we create a safe, family-friendly event that we can all enjoy?
The Tater Daze committee will take the feedback they got and come up with a proposal for next year's event. They'll bring it to the council in early October. Delane and Alex.
In Brooklyn Center, it was a celebration of culture and community. Dancers from Twin City-based Aini Asian Dance Theater Group performed The Happy Fish. The fish is a symbol of good fortune in many Asian cultures. The performance helped kick off Brooklyn Center National Night Out festivities, which take place tonight, Tuesday evening. And Brooklyn Center isn't the only city getting a head start on National Night Out neighborhood block parties.
That's right. Plymouth is kicking things off with a Night to Unite open house at the Plymouth Creek Center, and that's where we find reporter Sonia Goins, who joins us now with more. Hi, Sonia.
started way back in 2006, and it's still pretty popular. You see there are lots of people here at this event. We have the police, Plymouth Police Canine, they're giving a demonstration over there. We also have the Plymouth Fire Department, where they're showing people the fire trucks. Now, the whole goal of this event is to show people, to teach people about public safety. And joining me to talk more about that is Plymouth Police Chief Mike Dolce. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so I know your officers are going to be really busy going to block club parties tonight, right?
They are. We have 160 scheduled parties throughout the city. So we'll have several police officers, some sheriff's deputies, some firefighters going around, visiting with neighborhoods, offering some information, having that interaction, and then moving on to the next party because, again, we have so many, thankfully, to go to.
And this is one of the largest events, right?
Oh, it is. It's our largest event of the year. Each year it gets incrementally larger. We estimate about 190 parties total for this year alone. We can only get to 160, and we're going to do our best to get into more of them next year.
Okay. Now I know there have been several national events that have put police in negative spotlights. How do events like this help to engage the community?
Well, it's unfortunate what's happened in that there's so much more good that occurs that unfortunately is underreported or not reported at all. And we have a lot of good things that go on, and this allows us to interact with folks and share a positive and common message.
Okay, well now this event goes on until 5 o'clock, and I forgot to mention the best thing about this is the free food. Oh, so I'm not coming back to the station. I'm going to eat my way through this event. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Sonia. Well, following testing glitches and plenty of frustration, the state of Minnesota has reached a settlement with the company that handles the Minnesota Comprehensive Assessments. The state had to cancel the MCAs for 2 days, you might remember, this past spring because of testing glitches blamed on a cyber attack. Pearson agreed to give the state a $1 million credit and provide testing support services valued at nearly $5 million. This year was the first time that state did its math and reading standardized test entirely online. Well, coming up, why now is the time of year for asthma checkups. That is next in Health Check.
Then later in sports, the Wayzata American Legion team is headed to regional play after a big win at the state tournament.
But first, less sun, but still comfortable on Wednesday. We are following a developing story in Maple Grove where firefighters have spent the past hour battling a house fire. The fire was reported shortly before 3 p.m. at a home in the 6200 block of Alvarado Lane. It is in a newer housing development. Witnesses reported seeing smoke and flames coming from the home. No reports of any injuries. Experts say about 1 in every 14 kids in Minnesota has asthma.
It's something that can be triggered by things like pollen, grass, the common cold, or even exercise. In today's Health Check, we take a look at why doctors say now is the time for parents to take their children in for asthma checkups.
In broad terms, it's about 8% of children that are affected by asthma.
Dr. Andrew Steen is a specialist who deals with asthma patients. He says that for the 8% of children suffering from asthma, they can experience a variety of issues.
Chest tightness, shortness of breath, cough, underperformance in gym, underperformance in their athletic tasks, missed days of school, in its worst forms, hospitalizations and ER visits.
Dr. Steen says that in the fall, asthma hospitalizations and emergency department visits tend to spike because of exposure to new fall plants, along with other children suffering from the common cold.
The other is a lot of asthma is about control. And so having a bad fall maybe because you weren't taking your controlling medicines during the summer.
So to avoid a fall asthma attack, experts suggest parents follow several tips before school starts. Take your asthma medication every day. Schedule an asthma checkup so that schools have an updated action plan. Know and avoid your asthma triggers to keep your flare-ups under control. Be smart when you exercise and carry your inhaler with you during workouts and team practices. And pack smart when you travel to ensure you have all the medication you need.
In asthma, it's very much true that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And so the medicine that you're taking to stop you from having an asthma attack is hugely more valuable than the medicines we use to treat you once you have your attack.
And for more information on asthma attack prevention, we have a link to more tips on our website, 12.tv. Well, coming up, a local artist sings the praises of his hometown with music.
But first in sports, some tips for working on your short game on the golf course. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back.
Welcome back. Jay's here now at sports, and a new champion is crowned in local baseball.
That's right. The summer continues here. Not time to think about fall season yet for all these kids. Wayzata qualified for the State American Legion tournament for the third time in program history. They took aim at the championship Monday in a rematch against Eden Prairie, a team they defeated on Sunday. It's scoreless in the top of the fifth when Eden Prairie's Jeff Athey delivers a big blow. His long fly ball is a no-doubt home run to right. A 3-run shot for Athey makes it 3-0 Eagles. As they have all tournament, Wayzata responds. In the bottom of the fifth, Connor Olson singles to score Parker Hlavacek as Wayzata gets 2 to pull within 3-2. Still down 3-2 in the seventh, Wayzata's Connor Trigstead lifts a fly ball to right that's easily deep enough to score Hlavacek, and it's even at 3-3. Remember, these are 9-inning games. Michael Bolkes comes through with a smash down the line in the 8th inning to score Jamin Hesby. Wayzata again fights back to tie it up at 4-4. In the top of the 9th, a huge double play for Wayzata on the line out to end an Eden Prairie threat. This game goes extra innings. In the top of the 12th, Thomas Scoro comes through on the mound, getting 2 straight Ks with runners at second and third for Eden Prairie. And that sets up Cody Getters to be the hero. He singles home Trigstead with the winning run, and the celebration is on for Wayzata. Wayzata is state champ. Eden Prairie, though, also advances to regional play. And it is a quick turnaround as Wayzata heads to regions. This is the team gathering Tuesday morning for a 7 a.m. bus ride to Bismarck, North Dakota for the Central Plains Regional. Wayzata is 32-14. They'll face Creighton Prep of Nebraska, a team they lost to in the Gopher Classic this summer in the first round. It's the first ever regional appearance for Wayzata.
We were just happy with getting to state and all that, but I mean, taking home the trophy and being able to beat Eden Prairie twice, like you said, there's nothing quite like it. So, I mean, I don't really think there's any words to describe it, but I think everyone here is just thrilled to be in the spot that we're in.
Yep, we're playing really hot right now, so it's great that we're already playing again tomorrow, and hopefully we can continue how well we're playing.
I've been coaching Legion for 6 years, and I've had a couple good teams that, you know, really talent-wise, they're similar to what we had this year, but we just started playing the best ball of the year at the right time, and have kind of carried it through. And we come back in games, and these guys kind of have that never say die attitude. And
Wayzata plays at 10 a.m. Wednesday at the Central Plains Tournament. Well, the short game is a big part of golf. In this week's Channel 12 Golf Tip, John Jacobson talks with Rush Creek's Aaron Jacobson about executing one of those shots near the green.
Aaron, a couple of weeks ago we talked about chipping around the green, but that time we were in the short grass, the first cut. Now we're in the rough. How is this different for how we approach getting onto the green and getting close to the cup?
Well, in that short grass, we could run it up there with a putter or a hybrid. Now in the longer grass, we need more loft on the club. So we're going to give you some options with a pitching wedge and a sand wedge. In this longer cut grass, I try to tell people to let the pin, where it's located, dictate what club to use. So if you look at the pins out here, this close one, I'm going to recommend a 6-degree or a sand wedge. And for the pin that's all the way across the green over there, more of a running club like a pitching wedge or a 9-iron. So let's talk about the motion here. I'm going to hit one with the pitching wedge, the long flag, but both the shots are going to be the same here, no matter if it's the lob wedge or the pitching wedge. I'm going to play the ball more towards my back foot with the shaft of the club leaning forward or the handle out in front, and from there, pretty simple motion. I got a little extra weight on my left foot, and I'm going to feel like I'm making a long putting stroke with pretty minimal body motion. So again, look at your target, pick a landing spot where you want that ball to hit the ground and roll the rest of the way. So aim the club, ball off the inside of that right foot, handle forward, brush the grass, and let it run up towards the flag. So that's going to end up about 3 or 4 feet. If you can consistently get that ball inside a 5-foot zone, whether it be with the pitching wedge for the long shots or the more lofted sand or lob for these shorter ones, I guarantee it'll take some strokes off your score this summer.
Thanks, Aaron. He makes it look easy, doesn't
Yes,
he?
sure does. Thanks a lot, Jay. Straight ahead, his latest project is called the Brooklyn Park LP.
We'll introduce you to the local rapper who's giving his city a musical shout-out.
Welcome back. There are many things about where we live that make it a nice place to call home.
A local rapper is highlighting all that's great about Brooklyn Park through his music. Reporter Sonny Goins went into the studio with Marcel Chambers, a.k.a. ThatGuySoda.
It's an art. I just like to create art and create music that people like to listen to.
ThatGuySoda, also known as Soda Supreme or Soda, as in Minnesota, spends a lot of time in this Brooklyn Park studio.
From my city with love, it feels good when it's real.
He's not only making a name for himself, but he's repping a city he's very proud of.
Brooklyn Park, it's an amazing place. You know, there's great food, it's great vibes, there's amazing people out here.
He loves Brooklyn Park so much, he named his 4th project the Brooklyn Park LP. And his biggest fan is his 1-year-old daughter.
I grew up in Brooklyn Park, so me telling my story and then also, you know, putting the city Brooklyn Park in some of these songs helps people understand it.
There are not many rappers claiming to be from Minnesota, let alone the city of Brooklyn Park.
What can I do to separate myself from every other artist? What can I do differently? And embracing Brooklyn Park was the perfect idea for me to do.
Soda was brought up on old school R&B. You can hear some of that flavor on the track called 1998.
I'm supported by my city, do this for my fans.
He says he wants his music to be positive and uplifting.
If you put your mind to it, you stay dedicated, and you keep your drive and your ambition that you can do anything.
Soda says he wants to do more than rap about Brooklyn Park. He wants to get involved.
I don't want it to be me just making music about Brooklyn Park. I want to actually be active in the community.
Soda says as long as he's rapping, he'll include a piece of Brooklyn Park in his music. In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Well, Soda has a big social media following with 21,000 followers on Twitter. It's a lot more than I have. And his music is also free. You can stream his songs on various sites. We will put that information on our website, 12.tv. So we'll have to get him and Cisco together at some point.
Create a bridge between Brooklyn Park and Maple Grove,
right?
right?
That's all the news for now. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.